Hello, everyone. My name is Nikki Halverson. I am the Post-Adoption Coordinator for the Northwestern region of North Dakota through North Dakota Post-Adopt Network. Welcome to the webinar, Self-Care for Adoptive Parents, a necessary guide to taking care of yourself in order to take care of others. Before we get into the webinar, I want to talk a little bit about who we are and what we do at North Dakota Post-Adopt Network. The North Dakota Post-Adopt Network is a service that provides support to families who have adopted from foster care, infant adoption, international adoption, other domestic adoption, and to families who have provided guardianship to a child in their home. North Dakota Post-Adopt Network is a voluntary service that is free of charge to children and families in all areas of North Dakota. North Dakota Post-Adopt Network offers many services personalized to each family's circumstances. The services provided include post-finalization welcome and follow-ups, information and referrals, educational opportunities, support groups located in Fargo, Wahpeton, Grand Forks, Devils Lake, Bismarck, Minot, Williston, and Dickinson. Short-term services such as assistance with birth family contact and tribal enrollment, planned activities for parents and kids, weekend camps and retreats, parent-to-parent mentorships, respite grant funds, assessments, and supportive services. Furthermore, within this webinar, we are going to discuss what is self-care, the difference between self-care and coping skills, what happens when you don't practice self-care, along with the positive impacts of practicing self-care. Then we will be taking a short quiz to see if you are practicing good self-care. After reviewing your level of self-care, we will discuss the different types of self-care and examples of each type of self-care. And finally, at the end of the webinar, we will be reviewing the key takeaways. First, we want to know what exactly is self-care. Self-care should be a top priority, especially for adoptive parents. Self-care are strategies, practices, and activities completed to maintain and enhance overall health and well-being. These practices should be done regularly and consistently. Self-care is critical to managing stress levels, improve mental health, and ensure physical wellness. As adoptive parents, it can positively impact your ability to adequately give your time, energy, and attention to both yourself and your family. Next, let's discuss the difference between self-care and coping skills. It is important to note that self-care and coping skills are not the same thing. Self-care includes proactive strategies that assist in taking an active role in your own well-being. Coping skills are reactive strategies used to change feelings or thoughts in real time. While they are not the same thing, they're equally as important, as coping skills can be an essential part of a healthy and effective self-care routine. What happens when you don't practice self-care? There can be many negative impacts when self-care is not prioritized. Relationship struggles, caregiver burnout, compassion fatigue, and overall decrease in health can result from extended disregard of self-care and stress. Relationships can be greatly impacted as your mood, communication habits, tolerance, and overall involvement in interactions with your friends, family, coworkers, and peers can be significantly impaired by lack of self-care. Caregiver burnout is defined as emotional and physical exhaustion from the continuous presence of stress and lack of self-care. Some signs of caregiver burnout include feeling tired, having lack of energy, experiencing depression, and feeling withdrawn from your surroundings or from activities you used to enjoy. Next, compassion fatigue is the diminished ability to empathize or feel compassion for others as a result of continuous presence of stress. All these could have the potential to negatively impact your family and the way it functions. Now, let's watch a short video of adoptive parents, Brad and Allison, discussing stress and the need for self-care uniquely towards their experiences as adoptive parents.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's really important for self-care, which I wasn't that good at before with my biological kids, and you can kind of get away with it. But with the child of trauma that sucks the life out of you in some ways in terms of your resolve and your consistency and making it through to the end of a problem. I definitely have found it very important to spend some time away from her, which is not because I don't want to be with her, but because I need time to just be relaxed and let my brain relax and not have my emotions always on a heightened level. And self-care is very important.
Yeah. I just say the stress is real.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not typically a very stressful person, and I had 2 doctor's trips probably within the first 3 to 6 months after she came. One because I had this lump in my throat that I couldn't get rid of, and the doctor's like, "It's going to be stress induced. Does anything happen that's caused stress for you?" And I was like, "No, not really." And then he was like, "Something's happened, must be, right?" And we were going through it. And I was like, "Well, actually, we did take a little girl in foster care." And he's like, "Well, that would do it." And so I ended up having some medication to get rid of that. And then the other one was I started having heart palpitations.
Flutters.
Yeah, heart flutters, right? And it was the same thing. They were like, "Have you had a change in your life that's caused stress?" And I was like, "No, not really." And then, again, he's like, "Yeah, actually, we did. We took this girl in." And in both cases, I mean, it was fine. But my point is, I probably didn't even realize that I was stressed during that period of time.
You don't realize the toll it's taking on you.
But the stress is real, whether you realize it or not, right? And so you do need to take care of yourself, right? And, for Allison, that's some long walks and some shopping time by herself. And for me, it means get back to exercising some, so on and so forth. But certainly some time away to deal with the stress is going to be required.
As you just seen, Brad and Allison shared just some of the mental, emotional, and physical impacts that stress has had on them and the need to complete self-care, especially as an adoptive parent of a child who has experienced trauma. It is also important to note how Brad shared the different activities of self-care that work uniquely for each of them. Further in this webinar, we will discuss some of the ways to practice self-care that may work uniquely for you. After reviewing how neglecting your self-care can impact you and Brad and Allison's views on self-care, it is important to note that to be able to adequately take care of your family, more specifically your children, you need to be able to take care of yourself too. Furthermore, supporting the statement, "You can't pour from an empty cup." We are going to discuss more specific positive impacts of practicing self-care. As we just mentioned, practicing self-care allows for you to take care of others, which is important in your role as adoptive parents. Next, it provides a healthy balance between negative emotions and positive emotions. Implementing self-care activities provides the time and space to feel those positive emotions that can improve your days overall. It also allows for room for growth and knowledge in different aspects. It can help figure out things that trigger you or how to respond to the trigger. It can also help you find new things that you may enjoy. And lastly, self-care can improve overall well-being, such as decreasing stress and anxiety, improving mood, enhancing self-esteem, and promoting a stable mental and physical health. According to a national online survey created by Vagro and conducted by OnePoll in December of 2020, some benefits of self-care expressed by respondents included enhanced self-confidence at 64%, increased productivity at 67%, and happiness at 71%. Now, let's see if you're practicing good self-care by completing this short quiz. Grab a piece of paper and write down your answers. And once you are done, you can score your answers by totaling your points. You can pause this webinar while completing this quiz and press play when you are ready to move on. To view this quiz online or share with a friend, You can find the link in the resources at the end of the webinar. Now that you have totaled up all of your points, we can analyze your results. If you got 30 to 36 points, that is excellent. Congratulations. Keep up the good care. If you got 22 to 29 points, this means you're doing pretty good as you're taking care of yourself. However, it may be time to remind yourself that your needs are important. Therefore, begin with one change. 15 to 21 points, this means you better be careful. Although you passed, you have some areas to work on. Think about your needs and then begin by selecting one area to improve and build off of that. Lastly, if you got less than 15 points, this means you should begin to take action. You need to make immediate changes to help yourself. If you scored high, that is awesome that you have been able to implement many forms of self-care into your life. However, don't worry if your score was lower, as you may just need a little bit more guidance and possibly just some ideas on how to practice self-care. Leading us to our next topic, the different types of self-care. There are several types of self-care, including emotional, physical, psychological, professional, social, environmental, financial, and spiritual. Each type of self-care is unique to which benefits they provide to your overall health and well-being. Just by looking at the many types, you may be thinking, well, how in the world do I practice environmental, financial, or even professional self-care? That is a great question. We're going to touch base on each type of self-care and examples of each. First, emotional self-care. Some examples of emotional self-care include journaling, practicing gratitude, meditation, or spending quality time with loved ones. When journaling, you can try to do it every day by setting aside time to write, keeping a pen and paper close to you. You can even use journal prompts available online. Ways to practice gratitude can include writing down 5 things you are grateful for every day. This could also be included in your daily journaling. Next, meditation. Meditation is a great way to maintain emotional wellness. There are many meditation apps or even videos online for guided meditation. Even just listening to calming music while focusing on your breathing is a great start to meditation practices. Lastly, spending quality time with loved ones can positively impact emotional well-being. This could be a friend, family member, or significant other. Next, physical self-care. Physical self-care can help enhance and maintain physical health and physically feeling good. Some examples of physical self-care include exercise, engaging in outdoor activities, maintaining a healthy diet, maintaining a healthy sleep schedule, and allowing yourself time to relax. Having a regular and consistent exercising schedule can be a great way to practice physical self-care. This could include going to the gym, walking your dog, or even playing a game of pickleball with a friend twice a week. Next, get some vitamin D while engaging in outdoor activities. This can be done alone or even with your family, as it could be a great way to bond and involve your children while also practicing self-care. There is nothing better than the feeling of the warm sun on your face while listening to the sounds of your children playing. Furthermore, our bodies need proper fuel to help us keep going. Thus, maintaining a healthy and nutritious diet is crucial to keeping up with our daily tasks. This also includes drinking lots of water. However, having a cookie or two once in a while never hurt no one. Maintaining a healthy sleep schedule is also critical to overall physical health. Our bodies thrive when we are allowing it time to recharge. Another way to recharge is to allow your body to relax. This could include getting a massage or even allowing yourself a day at home to rest when you are feeling exhausted. Psychological self-care. Psychological self-care activities can closely resemble activities that are also beneficial to your emotional wellness. Some activities include practicing mindfulness, making time for hobbies, self-help activities specifically aimed towards psychological well-being, and talking to a therapist, life coach, or other type of counselor. Practicing mindfulness is the act of being actively present in the moment regarding your thoughts, feelings, actions, and surroundings. Mindfulness can also be beneficial to parenting skills as it can help parents be less reactive and more patient when dealing with challenging child behaviors, which further enhance psychological flexibility. Next, making time for hobbies. This can help create time for yourself while also doing something that you enjoy, which is great for your overall mental well-being. Self-help activities such as reading self-help books or listening to self-help podcasts related to psychological well-being can also be an effective approach by guiding you through life struggles from a variety of perspectives. There are also podcasts or books available that relate specifically to adoptive and foster parents and their experiences and well-being. Lastly, talking to a therapist, life coach, or other type of counselor can assist with maintaining and/or improving psychological well-being. These resources are beneficial in not only addressing life stressors, but also teaching you ways of coping with stress as a preventative measure. Next, professional self-care. Professional self-care consists of activities that helps maintain sustainability in your work life. Some professional self-care activities or practices include setting boundaries, taking vacation or sick days, organization, and taking breaks. Setting boundaries while creating a healthy balance between work and professional life is critical for maintaining overall wellness. One way to set boundaries on a professional level is by deciding not to do work while at home. For example, if you have a work phone or computer, make sure it is turned off when you're at home, or muting or silencing any work emails or texts while at home. This will allow for you to also be more present while with your children. Next, taking vacation or sick days are aspects of one's professional life that often get neglected. It is important to take days off when you need it. For example, if you are sick, need a mental health day, or are planning a family vacation. Organization is also an important practice in professional self-care. By keeping your workspace along with your duties organized, this can decrease the level of stress within your professional life. Ways of keeping your responsibilities or duties organized include setting a reminder, using a planner, using a to-do list, or keeping track of events either on a paper calendar or digitally. Lastly, taking breaks can help maintain an overall professional wellness. Make sure to take breaks throughout the day to help maintain a healthy work-life balance. Social self-care. Social self-care are activities that facilitate healthy family and social relationships. Some social self-care activities include video chatting, calling, or texting a friend, getting involved in the community, attending group therapy or support groups, or schedule regular outings. In today's age, we are lucky to have the world at our fingertips. This means we have the ability to connect with our friends and loved ones virtually. Although this is a convenient way to catch up, make sure to try to meet up in person every once in a while and always try to be present with those around you, creating quality interactions. Next, by getting involved in the community, you have the ability to donate your time and energy to something you enjoy, while also socializing with people you may already know or by making new friends. Attending group therapy or support groups can also be an effective way to maintain social well-being. There are many group therapies and support groups that are specific towards adoptive parents. Catholic Charities of North Dakota offers support groups for adoptive and guardianship parents, done a minimum quarterly within each region of the state of North Dakota. Within these groups, you can find support from those who are experiencing similar issues while also potentially providing a different perspective that can help you maneuver through difficult situations. The last activity mentioned is scheduling regular outings. Regular outings could be completed with friends or family. Specific examples include going on regular lunch dates, going to the movies, or attending local events. This ensures that you are receiving consistent and regular connection with people outside of your daily environment. All of these activities can be a great way to ensure social wellness. Next, environmental self-care activities. Environmental self-care activities establish and maintain safe, functional, and comfortable surrounding environments. Ways to practice environmental self-care include taking a vacation, cleaning your personal space, taking the scenic route, and decorating your home. Taking a vacation with friends or family can be a great way to practice self-care. This could mean going to a hotel for a weekend with your kids or going to a different country with your significant other. Whatever this may look like to you or what works best for your family, it could be beneficial to your well-being to make this time for a getaway. Next, cleaning your personal space. Keeping your personal space clean is not only pleasing to the eye, but also the mind. You may be the type of person that when your surroundings are cluttered or messy, your mind tends to be the same, as you just can't focus on anything other than the mess. Also, by keeping up on household tasks, It can avoid frustration in the future. Try making it a family task by setting up a chore chart for your children to complete each day in order to stay on top of the potential mess. Next, taking the scenic route can also be a beneficial way to practice environmental self-care. We all have the same routines of driving past the same old boring buildings every day. Let's try something new. Next time when you go to pick up your kids from school or daycare, either take a different route on the way there or back, whichever you choose. This may include taking the back roads or outskirts of town that may have a different or possibly more appealing route. You may be surprised of what you find and the ease it may bring to your mind. Lastly, another practice could include decorating your home to your liking. By making your home more visually appealing to you, this could bring a higher sense of comfort and stability to not only you, but your family. Hang up a few family photos, display your children's art, or even put fresh flowers that your kids have picked in a vase on the table. Make it unique to you and your family's liking. Financial self-care. Financial self-care helps create and maintain financial goals and obligations. Some practices of financial self-care include budgeting, treating yourself, having an emergency fund, or working with a financial coach or planner. Budgeting is a great way to remain on top of your financial obligations while also creating additional resources for emergencies or fun activities. Bringing us to the next activity, treating yourself. Budgeting can help you be able to treat yourself once in a while without overindulging. Treats are meant to be items or activities that are done every so often. But man, does it feel good, right? Next, having an emergency fund. We know that raising and taking care of children or youth comes with a great deal of surprises, including emergencies. When emergencies occur, this can create tension in our budget or finances. Therefore, planning ahead and saving up an emergency fund, just in case something does occur, is crucial to maintaining overall well-being. Next, working with a financial coach or planner. Like all of these suggested practices, this may not always be necessary depending on the person. By working with a financial coach or officer, you can create plans for better financial stability and future events such as your children's college or even retirement. And finally, spiritual self-care. Spiritual self-care includes activities that help guide and preserve religious beliefs or spirituality. Religious beliefs and spirituality can be a great way to enhance and maintain overall wellness and happiness. This does not necessarily always have to do with one specific belief. There are a variety of activities that can be a great practice for spiritual self-care. This includes attending church, mass, or other spiritual services, praying or meditating, reading spiritual or religious texts, and spending time with or in nature. The first activity listed is attending church, mass, or other spiritual services. There are a variety of spiritual and religious services available for people to attend and explore. This can help create a sense of belonging to not only you, but your children if that is something you both wish to explore. Next is praying or meditating. Some people find peace in the practice of praying and or meditating. This is a common way of practicing spiritual self-care. Reading spiritual or religious texts are also great ways to practice spiritual self-care. For example, a common religious text we all know and have heard of is the Bible. And finally, if you're not much of a spiritual or religious person, spending time in or with nature can be beneficial ways to maintain overall health and well-being. This can be a very calming and enlightening practice. Whether this is done by sitting on the patio, listening to the birds while drinking your coffee, or by hiking in the woods, there are many outdoor activities that can help ground your personal well-being. All of these spiritual self-care activities can either be done alone, with organizations you attend, friends, or your family. Now that we are at the end of our webinar, let's discuss the key takeaways from self-care for adoptive parents. First, self-care includes regular and consistent strategies, practices, and activities completed to maintain and enhance overall health and well-being. Next, it is important to note that self-care and coping skills are not the same thing. Self-care includes proactive strategies that assist in taking an active role in your own well-being, whereas coping skills are reactive strategies used to change feelings or thoughts in real time. We also discussed the overall impacts of self-care. There are many negative impacts from neglecting self-care, including relationship struggles, caregiver burnout, compassion fatigue, and overall decrease in health. Completing regular and consistent self-care improves overall well-being, such as decreasing stress and anxiety, improving mood, enhancing self-esteem, and promoting a stable mental and physical health. Next, there are several types of self-care, including emotional, physical, psychological, professional, social, environmental, financial, and spiritual. Each type has many different self-care activities and practices that may be beneficial to enhance and promote overall health and well-being. And lastly, and probably most importantly, always remember to take care of yourself because you can't pour from an empty cup.